Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the news bulletin on Nile TV International and Channel 2. I am Bethha and I am honored to be joined with my dear colleague Reem Tamir. Hello, Reem.
Hello, Basma. How are you? Good afternoon, dear viewers. We start right away with the headlines. Foreign Minister Badr in Saudi capital Riyadh for talks with top diplomats on Syria. The Palestinian Health Ministry says that 28 people were killed in the Palestinian territory in the past 24 hours.
Welcome back, dear viewers. The news in full. Minister of Foreign Migration and Egyptian Expatriates Affairs Badr Abdulati asserted Egypt's full support to the Syrian people and their legislative aspirations, calling all Syrian parties in this critical phase to put into consideration the national interest and support stability in Syria. This came during Abdulati's participation in the expanded ministerial meeting in the Saudi capital Riyadh on Sunday on Syria. Saudi officials said talks are to unfold in two sessions. The first will bring together our officials, while the second will feature wider participation, including from Turkey, France, the European Union, and the United Nations. Western powers, including the United States and the European Union, slapped sanctions on Syria in 2011. European Union top diplomat Kaja Kallas said that the 27-nation bloc could begin lifting sanctions if the new rulers in the country took steps to form an inclusive government that protects minorities. The meetings on Sunday represent a continuation of talks on Syria's future held last month in Jordan.
As part of her participation at Saudi Arabia talks, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock said sanctions against allies of former President Bashar al-Assad, who committed serious crimes during the Syrian civil war, must remain in place. Baerbock told reporters in Riyadh that Berlin proposed a smart approach to sanctions so that Syrian population could get some relief. She joined Western and Arab foreign ministers for a regional conference on Syria with Syrian counterpart Asad al-Shibani.
Minister of Foreign Migration and Egyptian Expatriates Affairs Badr Abdulati stressed the deep-rooted historic relations between Egypt and Djibouti, confirming Egypt's keenness to promote bilateral relations in political, economic, and development fields to serve the interests of both people. This came during a phone call Abdulati made with Foreign Minister of Djibouti, Mahmoud Ali Youssef. The call tackled regional issues of mutual concern, topic of which is the latest development in the African Horn, supporting Somalia and preserving the unity and stability of its territories. Both ministers also exchanged visions toward tension in the Red Sea and its repercussions on maritime navigation and international trade. The top diplomat reiterated on the necessity of intensifying cooperation among Red Sea countries to protect their interests, national security, and coordination to confront various threats.
The Israeli military said that 4 soldiers had died in combat in the north of the Gaza Strip. The death brought to 403 the total number of soldiers killed in the Palestinian territory since October 7, 2023. The Palestinian Health Ministry said on Sunday that 28 people were killed in the Palestinian territory in the past 24 hours, taking the overall death toll to 46,565. The ministry said at least 109,660 people have been wounded in more than 15 months of war between Israel and Hamas.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is sending the director of the Mossad Foreign Intelligence Agency to ceasefire negotiations in Qatar. His office said in a sign of progress in talks on the war in Gaza. It was not immediately clear when David Barnea would travel to Qatar's capital Doha for the latest round of indirect talks between Israel and the Hamas group, but there is U.S. pressure for a deal before the presidential inauguration on January 20th.
The new Lebanese President Joseph Aoun said his first official overseas trip would be to Saudi Arabia during a call with the Gulf Kingdom's de facto leader, the president's office said. Lawmakers elected the 61-year-old army chief on Thursday, bringing to an end 2 years without a president for the multi-confessional crisis-racked country. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman called to congratulate Aoun on Saturday and invited him to visit his country. The Lebanese presidency and official Saudi news agency said. Aoun responded that Saudi Arabia would be his first destination, his office said.
Iran is holding air defense exercises as the country braces for more friction with Israel and the United States under incoming U.S. President Donald Trump. The war games take place as Iranian leaders face the risk that Trump could empower Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to attack Iran's nuclear sites while further tightening U.S. sanctions on its oil industry through his maximum pressure policy. Iran's state media said the drills are part of 2-month-long exercises launched on January 4th, which have already included war games in which the elite Revolutionary Guards defended key nuclear installations in Natanz against mock attack by missiles and drones. Iran military has said it was using new drones and missiles in the exercises and released footage of new underground missile city being visited by Guards Commander-in-Chief Major General Hossein Salemi.
The Russian Defense Ministry said on Sunday that Russian troops have taken control of the villages of Yantarne in the Donetsk region and Kalinov in the Kharkiv region of Ukraine.
As winds ramped up, pushing the blazes towards previously untouched neighborhoods, firefighters fought on into the night on Saturday in a bid to get on top of massive wildfires around Los Angeles. At least 60 people were now confirmed dead from fires that have ripped through the city, leaving communities in ruins. Despite heroic efforts, including sorties from air crews, the Palisades fire continued to grow on Saturday, pushing east towards the priceless collections of the Getty Center Art Museum and north to the densely populated San Fernando Valley. A brief lull in the wind was rapidly giving way to gusts that forecasters warned would feed the blazes for days to come. Meanwhile, a huge investigation was underway to determine what caused the blazes, involving the FBI and the Bureau of Firearms and Explosives, along with local authorities.
Croats were voting on Sunday in a presidential runoff election with incumbent Zoran Milanovic ahead in opinion surveys of Dragan Primorac of the ruling Croatia's Democratic Union for the chiefly ceremonial position. Polling stations opened at 6 GMT and will close at 18 GMT, with exit polls expected minutes later. Preliminary results will be known around 19 GMT and official results are expected in the following days. Around 3.8 million Croats are eligible to vote in the second round.
The International Monetary Fund will forecast steady global growth and continuing disinflation when it releases its World Economic Outlook on January 17th, IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva told reporters on Friday. Georgieva said the U.S. economy was doing quite a bit better than expected, though there was high uncertainty around the trade policies of the administration of President-elect Donald Trump that was adding to headwinds facing the global economy and driving long-term interest rates higher.
China and Britain restarted economic and financial talks after a 6-year hiatus during a visit by Britain's Treasury Chief to Beijing as the UK's Labour government seeks to reset strained ties with the world's second-largest economy. The two sides inked agreements in areas such as finance worth £600 million over the next 5 years for the UK economy. The details follow.
China and Britain restarted economic and financial after a 6-year hiatus during a visit by Britain's Treasury Chief to Beijing, and the UK's Labour government seek to reset strained ties with the world's second-largest economy. Accompanied by a delegation of British business executives and finance officials, Chancellor Rachel Reeves met with Chinese leaders, including Vice President He Lifeng and Vice President Hang Xing. Reeves emphasized the need for a stable, pragmatic UK-China relationship as she wrapped up talks in Beijing. Without outlining the specifics of the deals, Reeves said the two sides inked agreements in areas such as finance worth £600 million over the next 5 years for the UK economy. Britain's Treasury Chief's 3-day trip has been clouded up by upheaval in the bond markets, which has pushed borrowing costs to their highest level since 2008 financial crisis. The opposition Conservative Party has accused her of having fled to China rather than addressing the concerns about inflation and economic stagnation. Reeves' visit to mark the revival of China-UK economic and financial dialogue, annual bilateral talks that have been suspended since 2019 due to the COVID-19 pandemic and deteriorating relations.
Dear viewers, by that we come to the end of our news bulletin. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more on ILTV International.